Asylum seekers coming to New York City, some as soon as tomorrow, as the crisis at the border gets worse. And tonight, Mayor Adams warning the city just can't handle the influx. And with a Trump-era pandemic rule limiting the numbers of those crossing the southern border set to expire on Wednesday, that could mean asylum seekers coming in even greater numbers. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon at the Port Authority bus terminal, where they are expected to arrive.
Even the anticipation of the expiration of Title 42 means more buses carrying asylum seekers headed to New York. Eyewitness News has learned that buses carrying at least 200 asylum seekers from Texas will arrive here in the morning, just as the case to keep the rule in place heads to the U.S. Supreme Court.
We saw 2,500 in the past 6-7 days. We can imagine what it's going to be.
The influx is already noticeable in El Paso, with the expiration of the Trump-era pandemic rule restricting immigration via the southern border expiring and leaving border communities scrambling to find resources. The mayor of El Paso has issued a state of emergency, allowing that city to expand use of shelters and institute curfews if needed.
I really believe that today our asylum seekers are not safe, as we have hundreds and hundreds on the streets.
I don't think that getting all the money in the world right now would even help us, because we just don't have the manpower. We don't have the facilities.
Title 42 cited the pandemic and resulted in expulsion of more than 2 million asylum seekers since 2020. Last week, a U.S. Court of Appeals panel in Washington blocked a challenge from 19 Republican-led states to the rule's expiration date. If those states lose their Supreme Court challenge and Title 42 ends as scheduled, more migrants will again be able to seek asylum in the U.S., and more will inevitably end up bused to New York, this time in the winter. That has Mayor Adams asking for a new round of federal and state help, saying our shelter system is full and we are nearly out of money, staff, and space. Truth be told, if corrective measures are not taken soon, we may very well be forced to cut or curtail programs New Yorkers rely on, and the pathway to house thousands more is uncertain. Last month, New York City announced the closure of the Randall's Island tent shelters for the new arrivals, which barely got any use. The remote location, not only unpopular, but also unsuitable for families of school-aged children. It was only for single men, but most of the men arrived with partners and/or children and were placed in the hotels that became family shelters. Not only are the buses expected here in the morning, the city council is holding hearings, taking a look at how the city has handled the arrival of the asylum seekers so far.